What is going on, guys, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be taking a look at mid Rubick and how you guys should build this hero in order to get the most impact out of this hero. Now, Rubick is one of these heroes that isn't really a lane dominator from the mid lane or any lane for that matter, but it provides a lot of control with telekinesis, and Fateful is just one of the best tools to trade with any of your enemies, especially if they're a red clicker, because you're going to reduce their damage by a ton and it's going to help you secure the range creeps, which is very important from the mid lane. If you don't really have a good way to secure range creeps, you're kind of screwed. Even if you're playing heroes like Rubick, you need to be able to secure it almost every time, unless you're going to get much better value from getting a kill onto the enemy mid laner, or just harassing him is going to be better, which 9 times out of 10 it's not going to be. You need to get that range creep secured and make sure you don't use it the wrong way and get a regular creep. Always use it for the range creep, and at the same time you can also hit the enemy mid laner. You need to be able to farm quickly on a hero that really doesn't farm, so you either make a lot of space or steal spells so you're able to farm, but you need to understand exactly what you're getting yourself into, because one of the most difficult things about playing mid Rubick is you need to understand what the enemy team spells do and what do they do with their shards. So you need to either do some research before you start playing mid Rubick, or you're the type of player who plays a ton of heroes and you're definitely comfortable with that. In my situation, it's that I pretty much know every hero in the game and I end up playing a ton of heroes, so picking up a hero like Rubick for me is definitely a no-brainer, as it's incredibly fun to play and it could definitely carry a team on its own, especially when you're playing against big ults like Faceless Void, Chrono, AA Blast, Golems from Warlock, or Black Hole, which is the classic one of all time. You can do so many things with this hero as long as you understand what spells you need to take away from the enemy team, what are the highest value, and be able to be patient. One of the hardest things about this hero is being patient, and I struggle with that myself, because you really want to have that spell and you really want to cast it already because your team is kind of waiting on you, because once you use telekinesis and you use Fateful, you're kind of just there right clicking someone and your right click doesn't really do anything, so you end up getting a little desperate to create more impact for your team, but you're actually doing the wrong play. You need to wait for that Witch Doctor to cast his ultimate or that Faceless Void Chrono and not be inside of it. That way you can use the Chrono against them or the Death Ward against them in the counterplay situation. Just be patient, you're going to get a lot more value out of this hero. The best item build in my opinion right now for mid Rubick is going to be the Phylactery Aether Lens build. It's such a strong build right now because even with telekinesis you're going to be doing damage and slowing, plus your Fateful, so you have 2 targeted spells, and if you're up against a lineup where you're going to be stealing even more targeted spells, it's definitely a lot of damage. Rubick really benefits from all the stats of Phylactery and Aether Lens, so what you end up going with if you're playing mid lane Rubick, you're going to be getting your bottle first of all, then you get your brown boots and you go straight into Phylactery. You don't finish the arcane boots. You go back after the Phylactery to get your arcane boots, then you turn that into an Aether Lens by disassembling it, and then you can either get a blink or an Aghanim Scepter. Your shard is also very necessary. It's definitely very strong. You could definitely save your teammates with it. It's definitely a very good tool to have. Definitely not something you want to rush on mid Rubick. You could also wait for the Tormentor to pick it up. Eventually, when you end up getting it for free from the Tormentor, you can also do that. It's also very good. His Aghanim Scepter is honestly very crucial and one of the best things you can do on mid Rubick. That way you can have 2 spells and they're incredibly strong, so if there's a lot of variety of stuns and spells for you to steal, Aghanim Scepter is definitely the way to go. And with the Aether Lens you're going to be stealing from a really long range, and you could also get some cast range neutral items if you get lucky enough. There's a lot of things you can do on this hero. Definitely let me know what you guys think about mid Rubick. Would you guys play this? I definitely feel like if you're a Rubick specialist you can definitely get even more value out of this hero, as you know your matchups very well, and if you are a specialist you definitely know most of the spells in the game and how Rubick does with them, which spells are the best to keep, which spells are the best to just cycle through, and the better you are with this hero the more impact you will have. But definitely just steal the easier spells first of all, so get your stuns, so like a Witch Doctor cast, or let's say an Ogre Magi Ignite. You can definitely grab these spells really quickly as they're very easy to use and don't fluster yourself, and you're still going to get a lot of impact out of them, and then eventually start building yourself up to knowing how to steal Black Hole or Chronosphere. These spells are a little bit harder to use because you need to place them right or you're not going to get enough value and you're just going to be griefing your team. So that's definitely the most important thing, is know which spells to steal, practice with them, and definitely give it a go. Rubick's just absolutely fun, and you're almost almost always going to have impact because you're able to steal spells. So if something is bothering your team, let's say a Sven stun or a Warcry, you can steal that for your team and your team's going to benefit so much from it. It's always going to be good. Just don't fall behind and don't get dumpstered in the lane. That's another thing. You can't play this into a whole lot of matchups. You definitely do very well against the spirits. You definitely need to be careful for the level 6 power spikes because then you could definitely die. But against heroes like Huskar, Necrophos, Viper, you definitely don't do anything against these heroes. So try and play into a lineup where you will get value even if you get crushed in the lane, because think about it, this hero does not take stacks easily and definitely doesn't farm very well, so it definitely depends on team fighting. Also, try and not have very passive supports, as this hero, when he rotates, he definitely wants to get kills to get his items faster. So try and play with heroes like Skywrath Mage or Techies, or even Shadow Shaman's quite aggressive, Witch Doctor. These heroes that definitely want to make plays on the map, those are the types of supports you want to play mid Rubick with, as you're going to get even more value because you'll be killing heroes left and right on the map. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. A like would be much appreciated. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching.